There is a question that comes up again and again in cardiology offices, in research labs, and at kitchen tables all over the world. What is the single best thing I can eat to protect my arteries? I want to give you a real answer today. One food. The number one food the science consistently points to when it comes to unclogging arteries. But before I name it, you need to understand why arteries clog in the first place. Because without that foundation, the recommendation will not mean very much to you. Arterial plaque does not build up overnight. It starts with damage to the endothelium, which is the incredibly thin layer of cells lining the inside of your blood vessels. Think of those cells like a perfectly smooth ice rink. Blood glides through without resistance. Nothing sticks. Everything flows. Now imagine that surface gets scratched and roughened by inflammation, by high blood pressure, by oxidized cholesterol particles. Suddenly, things begin to stick. When the artery wall gets damaged, bad cholesterol, called LDL particles, start collecting in the cracks. Your immune system sends cells to clean it up, but those cells get overwhelmed. They get stuck, and they become part of the problem. That is how plaque starts. And once it starts, it keeps building. The artery narrows, and the risk of a heart attack or stroke climbs with every passing year. So if you want to reverse that process, you need a food that does three specific things simultaneously. It must reduce that oxidative stress. It must lower the LDL particles traveling through your blood. And it must protect and repair the endothelium, so the inner lining of your arteries can begin to function the way it was designed to. The number one food that accomplishes all three of those things, backed by more consistent evidence than almost anything else in cardiovascular nutrition research, is extra virgin olive oil. The mechanism behind extra virgin olive oil is genuinely remarkable, and most people have no idea how it actually works inside the body. Extra virgin olive oil contains two powerful things your arteries desperately need: natural antioxidants that fight inflammation, called polyphenols, and healthy fats that protect your blood vessel walls. Monounsaturated fats, primarily a fatty acid called oleic acid. Together, they attack the plaque problem from multiple directions at once. The polyphenols, particularly one called oleocanthal, directly suppress the inflammatory signals that damage the endothelium in the first place. When that inflammation is reduced, the inner lining of your arteries has an opportunity to repair itself. The surface becomes smoother. LDL particles have fewer damaged entry points to slip through. At the same time, the monounsaturated fats in extra virgin olive oil improve insulin sensitivity, which matters because insulin resistance is one of the primary drivers of the oxidative stress that oxidizes LDL particles and makes them dangerous in the first place. And here's what the research actually shows. Multiple large-scale studies and meta-analyses have found that high intake of extra virgin olive oil is associated with a significant reduction in major cardiovascular events, including heart attacks and strokes. One of the most important of those studies, the PREDIMED trial, found that a diet supplemented with extra virgin olive oil reduced the risk of major cardiovascular events by approximately 30% compared to a low-fat control diet. 30%. That is a number that rivals what pharmaceutical interventions achieve in many patient populations.
Now, there is a critical distinction that you need to know, because not all olive oil is the same, and this matters enormously. The word extra virgin is not a marketing label. It refers to a specific standard of production where the oil is cold-pressed without heat or chemical processing, which preserves the polyphenol content that makes it so powerful. Regular olive oil, light olive oil, or olive oil that has been refined and processed has had a significant portion of those polyphenols removed. You are left with the fat, but without the medicine. And that is a distinction most people standing in the grocery store aisle never think about. They see the word olive oil, they assume it is all the same, and they reach for whatever is cheapest or most familiar. But the difference between refined olive oil and genuine extra virgin is the difference between a food that tastes good and a food that actively heals. When you shop, you want extra virgin, and you want it in a dark glass bottle because light degrades polyphenols quickly. If it comes in a clear plastic bottle, leave it on the shelf. The packaging tells you a great deal about the quality of what is inside. The practical dose that research supports is around 2 to 4 tablespoons per day. That might sound like a lot, but it translates easily into cooking vegetables, dressing salads, or drizzling over proteins at the end of cooking. One important note: you do not need to avoid heating it. The polyphenols are stable at typical home cooking temperatures. What you want to avoid is using it in deep frying applications where sustained extreme heat would degrade the oil over time. Now here's something most people never hear about extra virgin olive oil. It does not just slow plaque progression. There is emerging evidence that it can actively support regression, meaning the actual reduction of existing plaque. The polyphenols appear to calm the immune response inside arterial walls, creating conditions that allow the body to begin clearing what is already accumulated. Most medications your doctor prescribes for cholesterol are designed to slow the damage. What we are talking about here is the body beginning to reverse it. That is not a small thing. That is worth paying attention to. This is not magic. This is documented biochemistry that has been reproduced across multiple research settings and multiple populations. If you are over 60, this matters even more than it did a decade ago. After 60, your blood vessels become less efficient at staying relaxed and open. Extra virgin olive oil directly supports that process, protecting against the arterial stiffness and narrowing that increases dramatically with age. The seniors who struggle most with circulation, with blood pressure, with cold hands and feet and fatigue are very often the ones whose diet contains the least of the healthy fats and antioxidants their aging blood vessels desperately need. And here is the simplest way to make sure you are actually getting those 2 tablespoons every single day without even thinking about it. Every morning, drizzle 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil over your eggs or your toast. At lunch, use it as your salad dressing with a little lemon and a pinch of salt. And at dinner, finish your vegetables or your fish with 1 final drizzle straight from the bottle after cooking. That is it. 3 small moments across your day. No measuring, no special preparation, just a consistent daily habit that your arteries will thank you for over time. If you prefer something even simpler, some people take their 2 tablespoons straight, like a morning shot, first thing before breakfast on an empty stomach. It sounds unusual, but many seniors swear by it. And the research actually supports taking it on an empty stomach for maximum absorption. Either way works. The key is simply doing it every single day. One final thing before we close. Extra virgin olive oil works best as part of a consistent daily habit, not as an occasional addition. The cardiovascular benefits accumulate over weeks and months of regular use, and it works even better when combined with other vegetables, fatty fish, and a reduction in processed foods that drive inflammation back up. Your arteries did not narrow in a week. They will not open in a week. But with the right daily choices, beginning with 2 tablespoons of high-quality extra virgin olive oil every single morning, the science gives you very real reasons for optimism. If this video gave you something useful, share it with someone who needs it. Drop a comment below telling me how old you are and whether you already use olive oil daily. I read every single one. And subscribe to Senior Health Now for more clear, science-based guidance designed for everyday life after 60. Your health is built through small daily choices, and today you are already making better ones.